Can you believe it's been 20 years since the CR-V hit the market, 1997, and since then, small utility sales have absolutely exploded, especially in the last few years. Now, this is the biggest category in Canada, eclipsing compact cars. So Honda has the 1-2 punch. Civic has been the best-selling passenger car for 18 years in a row, and the CR-V has always been one of the top 3 against the Escape from Ford and the RAV4 from Toyota. But here we are in 2017 with a brand new model from the wheels up. So what did they do? They set out to make the Civic of CR-Vs, meaning the Honda Civic won all of the awards last year, Canadian Car of the Year, North American Car of the Year, and it's because of the new platform. It's bigger, it's more refined, it's quieter, and it has available engine choices. So they take that Honda Civic platform, it makes the vehicle bigger overall in every dimension, but most notably, it's 4 centimeters longer between the wheels. That adds 5.3 centimeters of additional rear legroom, the largest cargo area of any of its competitive set. This CR-V looks a little bit more rugged now. They've given it 3.8 centimeters of additional ground clearance, muscular looking fenders, LED marker lights front and back. If you get the top touring model, the one I have here, you also get LED headlamps. The styling, it looks like a CR-V, but definitely more modern and upscale. The wheels to me just don't look quite right. This style of wheel looks like something from a Hot Wheels car that's on a real vehicle. You decide for yourself. One nice touch, they've added a power liftgate around the back. It's got the kick feature, it does it automatically, and you can also set the height of that liftgate to whatever height you want. If you're a shorter person, you can make it a little bit lower. So that's a look at the outside. Inside, also the Civic of CR-Vs. Now, even though this is built off an all-new platform, Honda didn't throw the baby out with the bathwater because people love the CR-V, stick with what works, and you see sort of an augmentation of that. You get the same high-mounted shifter in the center console. A flat and open dashboard makes the car feel open and airy. And when you add in the extra legroom in the back, 5.3 centimeters, and keeping the floor as flat as they possibly could, makes this a wonderful family vehicle, easy for kids to tumble in and out of the back seat. As I mentioned, the large cargo area around the back, Honda claims the biggest in this class, and the bottom floor can actually slide down several centimeters to give you more room for taller items. So that's all definitely welcome stuff. Then you look at the dashboard behind the steering wheel. It's digital. We see the speedometer and other gauges there virtually displayed in the dash. The steering wheel is similar to the Honda Civic, and it has the volume knob on the left, but what you'll notice on the screen is Honda has returned the volume knob to their head unit. Now, I was called out last year when I criticized the Civic for not having a volume knob. A lot of you said, hey, come on, Zach, you're just an old guy. But you know what? They have heard it loud and clear, just not from auto critics, but from the people who buy these cars. They want a volume knob back on the dash. That good old analog switch makes so much sense, quickly turning things up and down, but most importantly, muting the radio when you need to talk to somebody outside or inside the car. The center console is still large with large cup holders and big cubby hole in between the two seats. So it's not a big departure from what we've seen. They have added some nice standard features though. You now get push button start, you get the new screen as I mentioned, dual climate zone, and in the rear you get USB ports. Also on this vehicle you get Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. If you get the EXL, that's the EX with leather seats, you also get a heated steering wheel and heated seats in the back. So that's all good stuff. Now, the CR-V has traditionally run on the Civic platform but had the engine and transmission from the Honda Accord. This new CR-V has a 1.5-liter turbo, the same engine that's in the higher-end versions of the Honda Civic sedan and the hatchback, but it's got a higher output at 190 horsepower and it runs on regular gas. Which begs the question, why do the higher-end performance versions of the Honda Civic hatchback basically need premium gas? This has more power, and it also kind of leads you to what's going to be coming with the Honda Accord. Will probably be this 1.5-liter turbo with 190 horsepower. And the benefit you get from a turbocharged engine is that wonderful mid-range grunt. Now, this vehicle has drive mode, it has sport mode, you just drop it down into sport, and it has the eco mode, which is great for when you're doing long distance trips to get the most fuel efficiency out of this vehicle. Now, let's not kid ourselves. The CR-V is what it is. It's a family vehicle for moving kids around to different activities, for the most part, active singles or couples, and it's not really about performance, it's about fuel economy economy and getting the most bang for your buck. And going to this new 1.5 liter turbo delivers some excellent fuel economy numbers. It's rated at 8.7 liters in the city and just 7.2 on the highway. Now, most people, almost 90%, buy the all-wheel drive version. And the good news is the all-wheel drive version has been modified. In the past, only about 25% of the torque would go to the rear wheels. Now, with this new updated system, up to 45%. So almost a 50-50 split of torque able to go to the back wheels in slippery conditions. The power goes through a continuously variable transmission to either the front wheels on the base model or all-wheel drive for all of the other models. In addition, the one thing about the Civic is it has impeccable handling and a multi-link rear suspension, which is also included in the CR-V. Has a poised feel on the road. They say it's quieter. I'd have to drive one back to back to clarify, but it has a nice feel to it. The one vehicle that I think has done a better job, in my opinion, in terms of quietness is the new RAV4, the updated RAV4. This one still has a bit of noise. Now, one thing that's a major selling feature for Honda is their Honda Sensing Advanced Safety System. And all-wheel drive models come with it as standard equipment. You get the forward collision warning, automatic braking, lane keep assist, and so on. If you want to get the blind spot warning system and the cross traffic alert, you need to get the vehicle I'm driving, which is the Touring model. It does have a very polished feel to it, a more grown-up feel, building off that Civic goodness that they had and turning it into a CR-V. So kudos to them. I think that have done a good job. It certainly is roomy now. It's comfortable. Still, in my opinion, could be a little bit quieter. Now, one thing, we have to mention it. When they updated the CR-V to include direct injection and a continuously variable transmission, there were vibration issues. So it's going to be interesting to see if anything bubbles up with this new setup. Honda did rectify it for 2016, but there were a lot of very unhappy customers. We'll have to see if anything comes out with this new setup. Now, the pricing of this new CR-V is pretty much on the nut with what it was the last vehicle, and that's definitely encouraging for Canadians. We've seen a depreciation of our dollar, but the price remains the same for a CR-V. If you want a base two-wheel model, that starts at just under $27,000. The first all-wheel drive, just under $30,000, $32,000 for an EX, $35,000 for an EXL, that's the EX with leather, and this top touring model is $38,000 with the added safety features and the LED headlamps. Very competitive with the Toyota RAV4. It's going to be interesting to see what Toyota does to counter this new vehicle. Well, Honda has delivered on what it set out to do. They made the CR-V of Civics. A lot of the same components and features in that award-winning sedan are in this CR-V.